This is the Cultural Change textbook reading homework. As you read, please consider the questions in the margins. For this first slide, what are some things that can affect culture? Always something new. Just as genes have changed over time, so too has American culture. Cultures change all the time. Because culture is a total way of life, a change in one part changes other parts. Changes in the natural environment, technology, and new ideas affect culture. A change in the environment. If the weather changes long enough, the climate will change. That affects the kinds of food people can grow. It affects the kinds of clothes they wear. Changes in climate affect ways of making a living, but other changes can affect a culture too. A new idea. New ideas also change a culture. People used to take nature for granted. They thought anyone could use resources without damaging the overall supply. Since the 1950s, people in the United States and all over the world have become concerned about the environment. They recycle and work to protect endangered species and preserve forests. People also realize that we can use up or pollute many natural resources. The desire to save nature is a cultural change. Now take a moment to answer the question in the margin. As you listen and read to this slide, consider the question on the left-hand side of the screen. How has new technology sped up the process of cultural change? Technology equals change. Cultural change has been going on for a long time. New technological discoveries and inventions may have had the most effect on cultures. The discovery of fire helped early people to survive colder climates. When people invented wood and stone tools and weapons, ways of living also changed. Hunters could kill animals such as the mammoth and the giant bear. These animals had been too large to hunt without weapons. Think of how technology has changed the culture of the United States. Radio and television brought entertainment and news into homes. Such things as TV dinners and instant information are now part of our culture. Computers change how and where people work. Computers even help people live longer. Doctors use computers to treat patients. Radio, television, and computers add new words to our language. Broadcast, channel surfing, and hacker are three. What other new words can you think of? Information overload. Change can help, but it also can hurt. If things change too fast, people can become confused and culture is threatened. Valuable traditions can disappear. Once important sources of knowledge are lost, they can never be regained. In many parts of the world, people are working to save their own cultures before it is too late. If they do not want to lose what is good in their culture, they understand it is important to remember where they came from if they are to understand where they are going. Now take a moment to answer the question, how has new technology sped up the process of cultural change? Technology and culture. Technology also helps spread culture. The internet, for example, has made instant communication common. Today, Americans can find out instantly what people in places such as Peru, India, or Japan are wearing, eating, or creating. If we like some of these traits, we may borrow them and make them a part of our culture. Rapid transportation technologies, such as airplanes, make it easier for people to move all over the world. As they travel, people may bring new cultural traits to different regions. Cultural change has both benefits and drawbacks. If customs change too quickly, people may feel that their culture is threatened. Some people worry that rapid communication is creating a new global culture that threatens diversity. Diversity is a cultural variety. These people fear that the things that make people and cultures unique and interesting might disappear. They worry that we might end up with only a single worldwide culture. Now take a moment to answer what's one example of diversity? As you read and listen on this slide, please consider the following questions. Define cultural diffusion in your own words. And what is an example of acculturation in sports today? Sharing ideas. People are on the move all over the world. People come to the United States from other countries. Americans travel to other countries. In the process, they all bring new things such as clothing and tools with them. They also bring ideas about such things as ways to prepare food, teach children, or worship and govern. Sometimes a culture adopts these new ideas. The movement of customs and ideas is cultural diffusion. The blue jeans story is a good example of cultural diffusion. Jeans were invented in the United States, but now are popular around the world. People in other countries made changes to jeans. People in the United States adopted the changes. The process of accepting, borrowing, and exchanging ideas is called acculturation. You can see cultural diffusion and acculturation if you study the history of baseball. It began as an American sport, but today it is played all over the world. That is an example of cultural diffusion. The Japanese love baseball. However, they changed the game to fit their culture. This change is an example of acculturation. Americans value competition. They focus on winning. But in Japan, a game can end in a tie. The Japanese do not mind a tie game for several reasons. For instance, in Japan, how well you play is more important than winning. Also, people try hard not to embarrass